Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to some more Mount & Blade 2 of Bannerlord. Today we are diving in with some absolutely spectacular mods. I think I found the perfect combination of mods. On the one side we have Calrida Faction Enhanced. This mod does an amazing job of just creating more depth on the battle and unit variety side of things. So every faction has a whole wealth of brand new units. Their rosters have been completely changed up with open source armory, the gear armor and Swardian armor, going ahead and giving a lot of depth to them actual unit creations and picking what units you want to have in your army, not only in the basic troop trees, the lords, as well as the noble troops as well. Not only that, it also goes ahead and adds in tons of new rogue armies, events and other stuff that you'll encounter. So if you're just roaming around the map, you might find a 200-man stack of bandits with elite armor ready for the conquest. So that's just a really exciting mod and I absolutely love it. On the other side we have Banner Kings. I made a video about this mod a couple weeks ago, and honestly it is one of the best mods out there if you're looking for a more in-depth campaign. It adds in population, religion, adds in lifestyles, new skill trees, it adds in new city management and so much more. It is absolutely crazy. And what you can do is you can combine these two mods together. Neither of the mods go ahead and really interact with one another on a base layer, so that allows you to actually combine them together and have one epic campaign. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys a bit about what each mod does do. This is on Bannerlord 1.8, so you do have to revert back to a previous beta. However, that's super easy to do. You go ahead and right click on your Bannerlord, you go down to properties, and then you go ahead down to betas and click 1.8 and you are good. I'll also go ahead and post my load order on your screen right now, and the two links of course down below in the description will be to the main mods, and they'll suggest mods you actually do need to get. Just make sure you get them for Bannerlord 1.8. So what we'll do is we'll start off with a little bit of Banner Kings. I'm not going to go massively in depth on each of these mods because I have made videos on them in the past. I just want to go ahead and give you guys a rough idea about what each of these mods do. So to start off, Banner Kings allows you to go ahead and pick a custom start in the game. You can choose from, I believe, 6 or 5 different starts, each of them varying and giving you different challenges. For example, you could be an indebted lord, allowing you to actually start with a settlement but not receiving any benefits from that settlement for 5 years in game. It's a really cool way of kind of allowing you to be this kind of powerful lord, but also making it so that you actually can't afford to have a huge army. You're going to have to find other ways. Another one is to be a gladiator, giving you access to the gladiator lifestyle, which we'll talk about momentarily, and that will then go ahead and give you extra bonuses at fighting at the cost of actually meaning that you can't have a huge party to begin the game with. It's going to cap your leadership and your party size for the first 5 years of the game. Again, a very nice and interesting start, but it gives you a head up and allows you to really train them vital skills. So speaking of them lifestyles, it's a really cool new system that this game has, allowing you to go to your education, and besides being able to read books and trying to actually understand the different languages in the game, which you can go ahead and choose from your primary languages and actually choose books to read, which will then you'll need the languages to understand. It's a really cool system, and these will give you bonuses in set areas. You can also pick a lifestyle. Right now on this character I've got the gladiator lifestyle, which allows to go ahead and give me an extra 200% on my tournament experience for all my combat stats. So for example, that means I'm in tournaments, whenever I'm fighting them, I'm going to be gaining a plus 200% on my athletics, riding, bow, crossbow throwing, polearm, two-handed and one-handed. That's going to allow me to ramp up these skills so goddamn quickly in tournaments, but it's going to make it so effective from going town to town. And then these lifestyles do actually continue to level up as well. So for example, you can get a promising athlete. That's going to be the first perk, which gives you more profit from betting, and you also start to gain a relationship whenever you win tournaments with a random noble. They'll start hearing of your name. Then you'll be able to go ahead and get an instant message showing you where the next nearest tournament is, and also allow you to double the amount of money you can win from the tournament. So, you know, you're already getting about 30% profit extra, and then all of a sudden you're going to be getting double the amount you can bet plus that 30%. You're going to be making like 10 grand a tournament if you win, of course. And then finally you'll gain a extra renown boost from winning tournaments, which is actually really nice, and also gain influence. Again, that can all be transferred into money. If you're a mercenary for someone and then you go ahead and get 10 influence, but then translates into an additional like 5 grand, you're making like 20k a tournament is actually insane. I have noticed though, one of the downsides is I was playing for about 3 hours and I only made it 10% through, so I feel like unless I'm missing something, this definitely does need to be sped up so that you can get these lifestyles a little bit quicker. But I also understand that it is a lifestyle, not something you're supposed to be getting immediately. It's supposed to be a campaign-long bonus rather than that. So I don't know, maybe that does need to take a look at, but it's still pretty interesting nonetheless. We also have this brand new tree down here. This is the scholarship, theology, and lordship bonuses. So the scholarship allows you to basically read better, learn languages, and just boost your skills a little bit quicker, and also allow you to actually add focus points to your children, so kind of pass on to the next generation, which Bannerlord is doing quite a good job of recently, of actually improving this kind of handing the reins over to your next generation. Still, they need to go a long way with it, but it'd be kind of cool if you could constantly have several children throughout the playthrough that you play as. Would be quite cool. Next, we have theology. Again, this is all tied to the new religion, giving you piety, which is a brand new a resource that you will spend for bonuses, as well as lordship, which will allow you to basically govern your kingdom that little bit better and do some extra bonuses and actually gain more resources more effectively. So a nice little trait. So that's the new skill tree. We also have decisions. Again, this is just kind of a bunch of decisions. For example, reforming the Imperial Calrida, which is a super cool decision. And then we also have religions. Each religion has its own bonuses, has its own aspects, its own schools. Each of these give their own certain bonuses. It's, again, another expanded system that is very cool. Not only that, the game Banner Kings does also add population into the game, new laws, new innovations for kingdoms. For example, the Kingdom of Valandia. Currently, if we go over to, I think we click on Durhawk, we can see it. Yeah, we click on Durhart's clan, you can see the Valandian innovations are heavy plow, free field system, public works, cranes, blast furnaces, and wheelbarrows. These will give certain bonuses, and as the faction leaders progress, or whoever the cultural head of these factions are, you'll go ahead and gain more bonuses, such as if I think they're currently focusing on these top two really heavily, and then they'll give you more farming output, which is cool. The game also adds in hundreds of new food, or hundreds, I was gonna say armors, because that's what the other mod does, but this one adds in tons of new different types of food and also quality to the items. There's now fine and wrought, and I think there's a crude as well, so there's several different variants of a lot of the resources in the game, which makes trading way more fun. And then you also have the new smithy system as well, allowing you to actually craft armors with these resources, which again makes it pretty interesting. And you also have to spend time here and have to pay for your time being at the smithies. So that is just a glimpse of Banner Kings. It's such an amazing mod, and I definitely found the newer version for 1.8, it recently got updated I think a week ago, has been way more stable. Again, I haven't mentioned everything in this mod, but it is a must. I think if it works with a campaign with your mod list, always use this one. It's just so goddamn awesome. Okay, so now we have taken a look at Banner Kings, not in its entirety. There is still plenty more to discover, but I'll leave that down to you guys to go ahead and check out. It is now time to move on to Calrida Faction Enhance, and basically what this mod does is in the title. It goes ahead and enhances the base factions of the game, as well as adding in tons, and when I say tons, I mean tons of minor factions who will all have their kind of own identity. For example, this Empire minor faction, which we'll see roaming around, is a military organization operating from the Empire. They're using the time of war to their advantage, gaining money, wealth, and everything else under the sun, which is a really kind of cool backstory. They all have their own custom units, and you'll run into a few of these, especially in the early game. They are beyond deadly. They are super scary. I think there's actually kind of a minor group down here. There's a minor group right here, who are roaming around. They're kind of hostile to me. Some groups are hostile, some are friendly, so you can kind of mix and match what ones you want to be friends with. And again, they all have their own custom unit rosters. If we go over to the actual troop trees themselves, you'll be able to see a lot more about them. Not only that, it also adds in tons of new custom kind of units as well for all of the factions. These are the angry Battanian peasants that can level up, and you can actually end up running into a pretty large scale revolt. And these revolts can get big. I've run into ones which have numbered over 280 men. So again, if you're a lone soldier, you're going to be struggling to fight that, or a lone kind of party, unless you're in an army. Again, you have more improvements to brigands. All of these guys have new armors in the game, which look very, very cool, especially if we go down to some of the oh yeah, this is a really cool one as well. The Hummer, these guys spawn in their hundreds. There's an event in the game that fires, and I think big stacks of like 480, and there's multiple of these start roaming around. I believe it's down in the Azerai lands, causing you so many issues. So if you're down there campaigning, or you are just from the Azerai lands, you're gonna have to worry about these guys, because they have some pretty gnarly ass units as well, which are going to be a super struggle to deal with. As you guys can see, yeah, some really scary units. But some of my favorite, of course, besides the young Vikings right here, the extra Viking units, which look really dope, we also have the Valandian Rogue Knights as well. They look amazing. Yeah, they're going to be right about here. Yeah, the Rogue Knights, I mean, just look at these bad boys. Yeah, they're just super scary. They have very good rosters, and again, the Lords that wield these guys will be super scary to deal with. But again, you can fight these guys, you can capture them, you can even recruit them as mercenaries, I believe. So you can kind of start to see why I love Calrida Faction Enhanced so much. There's just such a large amount of unit rosters from all the different cultures of Calrida, and it really does expand them. Even some of the Redemption Knights as well are very cool, and you know, this is just a little taste of what's involved in this. So on one side we have the awesome Banner Kings going ahead and giving us so much depth to the campaign, and on the other we have the Calrida Faction Enhanced, which is basically just enhancing every single faction with new units, adding in tons of new factions on the map for you to basically do, so you're not just fighting big factions over and over again. You can have a vendetta against one faction. Again, here's another little look-see at this awesome, I mean, just look at these bad boys right here. It's so cool. And there's also a new Valandian head. That's again a Banner Kings thing. But yeah, I mean, just running into these guys, you could set up a crusade against them. Yeah, these are the knightly orders. You can even just set up like a big crusade against these guys and try and bring them down. That is something you could totally try and do. Or you could join them, use something like Freelancer and become a part of their roster. Definitely something that is very possible. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, I highly recommend you check these mods out. I would have linked my load order already, so you can check that out. And as I said, I played for 4 hours and I had one minor crash, which was just it's been a crash for like the past 2 years, which I could have easily avoided. It's just when you have to pay some of the new custom spawn factions. So if for example, if these guys caught me and I had to pay them, that does cause a crash in the game. But yeah, so easily avoidable if you are trying to avoid that. So yeah, go check it out. As I said, super stable and worth your time playing for a brand new campaign before the launch of Bannerlord on the 25th. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and fish out.